How to apply for SBA grants and loans for self-employed. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Rinde from AskRinde, and welcome to the #1 community for real estate income, grants, and credit. So if you'd like to know more about how to apply for SBA grants and loans for self-employed, for home-based businesses, for service-based businesses, make sure you watch the video to the end. Leave a comment below if you need help with anything. Self-employed business owners and entrepreneurs are eligible and qualify for certain SBA grants and loans. Home-based businesses, service-based businesses, consultants, single entrepreneurs, and much more. And with inflation out of control, it's highly likely that a credit freeze is coming, where they'll be restricting the flow of money in the markets. So now is the best time to learn how to get grants, free money, and get access to capital for your business. Now, one thing about the SBA and other government programs is that it takes a long time. So as we saw recently with the announcement of the Small Business Credit Initiative, the funds finally got released to the states after months. And then there's the thousands of businesses that are still in limbo and waiting on results from the EIDL program, which recently just closed. So some of those businesses got approved, but they got no money. So there's a difference between being approved and being funded. And as I've said from the beginning, there are short-term grants and then there are long-term grants. The SBA definitely fits the category of long-term grants. So you need to know the difference, and you need to know how to get access to grants and money for your business. So if your needs are short-term, you need to be going after short-term grants. If your needs are long-term, you can wait on the SBA and also go after other long-term grant sources. So we actually show you how to find short-term grants, where to find them, how to apply for them, and how to get them for your business. Now, the good thing about the SBA is that their grants and loans can be substantial. So the SBA 7A Express, for example, goes up to $350,000. And they offer some of the most favorable funding for small businesses available, with the best payment terms, cheap monthly payments, and also long amortization schedules. 10 to 25 years, depending whether or not it's working capital or real estate. So you certainly want to be applying for SBA grants and forgivable tax-free loans, as well as SBA loans. And before you apply, these are what you'll need to start the application. Number 1, you'll need your government issued ID. Number 2, you'll need a copy of your business registration. And if you have W-2 employees, you'll need IRS Form 941, as well as your third-party payroll report. Number 3, you'll need bank statements. Number 4, you'll need invoices. Number 5, you need a copy of your tax filing status, tax filing documents, IRS Form 1065, 1120, 1120S, and IRS Form 1040 with Schedule C, depending on what's applicable. So you may need to actually submit a full tax return. Number 6, you may need IRS Forms 944 and 941, and if there's W-2 employees, you may need a third-party report. Now, once you have all those documents, you can begin the process of applying for the SBA grant or loan. So in this case, we're going to be looking at the SBA 7A program, and we're going to start the application with this borrower review form. Now keep in mind, this form also doubles as a background check. So the SBA participating lender as well as the SBA may do a background checks in order to validate information and also do a background check on the applicant. So as we can see at the top, it says to be completed by the following for sole proprietorship or sole proprietors. So those will apply to us as self-employed business owners. We can actually start the process of applying for this loan and this grant. So you're actually going to include your information by starting out putting in your name. You're going to put in your full name, your title in the company. You're also going to be asked to put in your social. As I shared, they're going to be doing a background check. You're going to include your date of birth, your place of birth. They want all the information like similar to what you would actually have on your passport. Next section here, they're going to be looking for your ownership percentage. So you can actually include that. You can also check off if you're a veteran. You can actually include that. You know, gender and race and all of those are actually optional. They use that for internal purposes. I'm assuming that they use that to basically see what the allocations are going for, and basically oversee their departments as to how they are administering to specific groups, whether they're underserved, etc. Next thing we're going to be looking at is their verification questions. So the first 3 questions they're going to ask you have to do with your criminal history, and you can just go down the line and answer yes or no. Number 4, they're actually wanting to know whether or not you're actually resubmitting an application. They want to know yes or no for that question. Number 5, they want to know if you actually have been suspended, disbarred, etc. You can actually answer yes or no. Number 6 is the child support question. So they actually want to know if you're actually more than 60 days delinquent when it comes to child support, and you can actually answer yes or no there. Number 7 is a citizenship question. They want to know whether or not you are a U.S. citizen, so you can actually answer yes or no. Also, they actually have a space here for permanent resident alien. So if you actually are and fit that criteria, you can actually include your alien registration number there. Number 8 is an exportation question. So they want to know whether or not the product or services that you're actually applying for are going to be exported. Again, they want to make sure that you are stimulating the economy and creating jobs here. So they're going to ask that question. That's something that you have to kind of just consider. If your business has to do with export or import, you might want to consider whether or not you will actually be applying for it. They still have criteria. They're going to review it, whether or not they will deny or approve it. But most likely, because of their criteria, and I'm sharing with you that they're looking to actually see companies create jobs, you want to make sure that you steer clear of doing anything that's going to export products or services away from demographics and areas that can actually spawn the local economy. Number 10 is an affiliation question. So they want to know if you have any affiliates, do you have any controlling interests in other entities, etc. Number 11, they want to know your history with the SBA. So if you actually have any affiliates or companies or businesses that you've actually owned and you have stakes in, you have interest in, have they received loans and also funds from the SBA previously? Number 12 is an employee question. They want to know how many employees you have currently in your business. Number 13, they want to know the number of jobs created as a result of the loan. So again, like I said, they're very heavily predicated on creating and spawning the economy and growing the local economy. So they want to make sure that they are asking those questions so that they consider you for this money. Number 14, they want to know if you're actually intending to use a broker or anyone to be able to assist you in preparing the application for the loan. Number 15 is a construction question. They want to know if you're going to be using more than $10,000 of the loan proceeds for construction. Number 16 is a qualifying question. They want to know whether or not your revenues derive from gambling or any other illicit operations. Number 17 has to do with the Community Advantage Pilot Program. So if your answer is yes, you're going to have to fill out SBA Form 2449, and actually an addendum will have to be added to your application. Number 18 is another qualifying question, and it actually has to do with your relation to an SBA employee. As an SBA employee, you cannot have a family member or an affiliate that has more than a 10% interest in the company. So you actually have to check off true or false to that statement. Number 19 is another qualifying question, and it has to do with any former SBA employee who's been distanced or disconnected from the SBA for less than a year that's now applying for financial assistance. Number 20 has to do with another qualifying question, and that is regarding Congress and any relative or member of Congress applying for money. Number 21 is another qualifying question. It has to do with government employees having a grade of at least GS-13. They cannot actually be a sole proprietor or general partner and apply for this if they actually fit that criteria. Number 22 is another qualifying question, and that has to do with SCORE, Small Business Advisory Council members, whether or not they're actually sole proprietors or general partners looking to try to get this money and funding for their businesses. And the next section here has to do with restrictions on federal financial assistance programs. So they're going into a lot of detail as to what is allowed and what is not, and what your rights are. So as you actually go through here, they have the Freedom of Information Act. They actually have Flood Disaster Protection. They have your Right to Financial Privacy Act and the executive orders, what has been instituted, also your Civil Rights, Equal Opportunity Act. All the different acts are actually related to what your rights are and what the criteria is for this SBA loan program in order to be able to intake you into the process. And lastly, by signing, you actually make the following representations and authorizations and certifications. Representations and authorizations, as well as certification as to accuracy. Again, they're going to actually cross-check, and they're going to basically validate and do a background check on you. So they want to make sure that what you've actually provided is accurate to the best of your knowledge. So they're going to actually have you do an attestation here. And it says, I certify that the information provided in this application, the information I have provided in all supporting documents and forms is true and accurate. I realize that the penalty for knowingly making a false statement to obtain a guaranteed loan from the SBA, that I may be fined up to $250,000 or put in jail for 5 years, and under a certain code 18 U.S. 1001. And if false statements are submitted to a federal insured institution, I may be fined up to $1 million or put in jail for up to 30 years under 18 U.S. 1014. So they want you to actually sign, print your name, and also data here. And really, that is the intake for the SBA 7A program, and that is how you start the process to apply for that program. So in applying for SBA grants and loans, we show you what you need to get started and also what you need to follow up. It's also important for you to learn how to actually use SBA grants to grow your business and also your network. And most importantly, when you receive the grant, it's important to know how to actually grow the grant, because getting the grant and receiving the grant are two different things. So we'll actually like to show you much more in our SBA playlist in our annual members area. We actually have a full SBA playlist in our annual members area on my website, AskRinde.com, where we actually start to show you the process of not only how to apply for SBA grants and loans, but how to actually properly set up your business so that you're in the best position to be able to receive the money. It's so important to learn how to use SBA grants and funds in order to be able to grow and scale your business. So make sure you check out our SBA playlist at my website, AskRinde.com, in our annual members area. We're also going to be sharing much more with you on short-term grants where you can actually find them. We teach you where to find them, how to actually be in the best position in order to be able to receive those grants, so you're actually winning all the time. While you're waiting on the long-term grant, which is the SBA grants, you're also getting short-term grants and you're never skipping a beat. We also show you how to actually generate sales for your business, how to actually start to make sure that you don't have droughts in your business. It's important to understand that there is a connection with business sales and also grants. So it's important to make sure that you're constantly having flow coming in. Sometimes that takes strategy. Sometimes that takes someone else looking in on the business to be able to give you the way to be able to grow your sales and generate more money, which in turn will be able to position you to get more grants and also funding. As a small business owner, you should be applying for grants on a monthly basis. So we look forward to helping you with that and winning in a big way. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can also email me. My email address is AskRindeNetwork@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.